Well, ladies and gentlemen, a March for Life is proving to be anything but, as we see new outbreaks of measles coming from the DC area after a pro-life march. Makes a lot of sense because of who tends to attend these pro-life marches. I'm Josh, filling in for David Pakman here February 10th. You can catch me on weekends on Ring of Fire. That is youtube.com/The Ring of Fire. And right now, the country is seeing a massive outbreak in measles. And the measles outbreaks are happening exactly where you'd think they would. Republican-run areas, Republican events, places where you'd see pseudoscience and anti-vax attitudes all combining in one small spot. So DC is just the tip of the iceberg. They've confirmed that one of the hotspots is this March for Life rally. Other hotspots they pointed to, Catholic churches and other gathering places that were related to the March for Life. Gee, you have a preventable disease, people not taking the steps to prevent it, and then they all gather in one spot as an outbreak occurs. Wonder what could go wrong. I wonder where we saw this previously. It's almost like we saw this, I don't know, a few years ago under the first Trump presidency with COVID. A rejection of science, a rejection of preventable measures, and then you have mixed messaging at the top, which just tells people, hey, we don't know what we're doing. You're on your own. And I hate to say it, when you have large groups of people and you don't give them direction, you don't give them expertise, they're not going to always do the wisest thing out there. So when you have a MAHA movement with RFK Jr. out there questioning the efficacy of vaccines and saying that we're having too many vaccines, Americans don't hear the nuance of, hey, the measles vaccine's good, but these other vaccines with the same ingredients are bad. They don't see that. They just see the distrust. And all of a sudden, medical science doesn't matter to the American public anymore. And it's forced people like Dr. Oz to be challenged by Dana Bash on CNN, where he has to actually beg the American public to take the measles vaccine. Let's look at the clip.
Speaking of transparency, I do want to, before I let you go, ask you about a record surge in measles in the United States. South Carolina, for example, is currently reporting 800 cases. It's the worst outbreak since measles was declared eradicated more than 3 decades ago. Is this a consequence of the administration undermining support or advocacy for measles and other vaccines?
I don't believe so. We've advocated for measles vaccines all along. Secretary Kennedy's been at the very front of this movement.
Come on.
No, he is. But when the first outbreak happened in Texas, he said, "Get your vaccines for measles because that's an example of an ailment that you should get vaccinated against." What happened with the core schedule that was released in the beginning of last month was to say, "Listen, we look at what happened in Europe. In Europe, if you give people 80 different vaccine doses to take, people start..."
But I'm specifically talking about measles here. I mean, you talked about RFK Jr., the group Children's Health Defense that he founded and ran up until 3 years ago, posted on X, despite the media's scare tactics, there's no reason to fear measles. Should people fear measles?
Oh, for sure. And we actually are pretty aggressive at CMS. We fund any vaccine you want to take. There will never be a barrier to Americans get access to the measles vaccine. And,
as a doctor, your message to people about the measles vaccine
is... Take the vaccine, please. We have a solution for a problem. Not all illnesses are equally dangerous, and not all people are equally susceptible to those illnesses. But measles is one you should get your vaccine.
Dr. Mehmet Oz, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dana.
Should people fear measles? That's not even a question you should have to ask someone, especially a medical doctor. And of course, knowing that he's on national television, knowing that he has a crisis on his hands, Dr. Oz had to say, yes, you should be afraid of the measles. Oh, for sure. And then he begs people to take the vaccine. Meanwhile, we are still seeing this outbreak across the country. It's almost like the messaging doesn't work. It's like people still don't trust the government or medical science. And we're seeing it in places like South Carolina. South Carolina with over 600 new cases. We've seen it in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, all over the country. Most strikingly, we're also seeing it in Texas. And part of the issue in Texas is coming from ICE detainment facilities. You have undocumented immigrants who don't have the normal access to health care. You have absolutely terrible conditions that you're holding them in. And of course, you've got a lot of right-wing nut jobs that have zero training or oversight looking after these people. It is a hotbed for measles and the spread of disease. And look, I get it. I understand that we all want to look for some new answer. We all want to try to blame our ailments on some big boogeyman. And I do get that it is easy to distrust the pharmaceutical industry. There are really big reasons that you should distrust the pharmaceutical industry. And I'm still waiting on RFK Jr. to ban pharmaceutical ads on television. Those are not people that are always putting your health first. That said, our government does have checks and balances in place. Our government does try to put out the best available science for you. And throwing out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak, and saying, hey, you know what? You shouldn't trust vaccines at all. But oh, wait, we need you to trust this vaccine because now it's killing people. Or under COVID, hey, we really don't think you should follow any of those COVID guidelines. Oh, except now it's killing grandma. Now we have to fix the issue. And that dichotomy of reality versus perception versus the health influencer type of sphere, the Joe Rogans of the world, the Facebook moms, all of them spreading all of this disinformation and sowing distrust. And all it does is it ends up killing people. And that is the MO of this administration. They don't care about you. They don't care about what you think. They just care about protecting their buddies, like the pharmaceutical industry. You notice that the TrumpRx.com, it's just sending you to manufacturers' websites. It actually helps discourage you from using generic drugs. That's all this is. It's a big get-rich-quick scheme. It's a big scheme to help prop up their buddies. And yet they're still going to tell you, hey, you know what? Don't take the vaccines. Except you should take the vaccines. But we're not going to make you take the vaccines. We shouldn't trust them. But you should, so that you don't die from the measles. Absolutely asinine stuff out of the administration.
Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.